All right, we'll get started here. Now, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Today's webinar is Sound POS Selling Tools. My name is Jared Lincoln. I'm the Regional Vice President of Sales here with Sound Payments and Sound POS. I believe for most everyone who's joined us has some familiarity with Sound Payments and Sound POS specifically. So one of the things I'm going to do real briefly to begin is just a quick um, 10-second overview of who we are and what we do, just for anybody that might be new um, to Sound POS specifically. First and foremost, we are not an ISO. We are not a processor or gateway. We are actually just a technology company in the payments industry. So thus the name Sound Payments, not to be confused with being a processor. We're really just a technology solutions organization. That said, if you're unfamiliar with Sound POS, we are an Android-based cloud POS solution for retail and quick serve small to medium sized businesses. Now we're certified and built on PAX devices. This is really great for cost efficiency, really easy to set up. And this is nice for resellers and for merchants alike. So that's one of the beautiful pieces of what we do. And then lastly, we are processor neutral. So we're certified on many different processors, such as First Data, TSYS, Elevon, Vantive, Heartland, and a few more, I believe, in there as well. So really that just means as partners, you can place your merchants wherever you like in regards to processing. The certification has already been completed and is there. So that's one of the best parts of who we are as an introduction. We'll hit the next slide. And what we want to do first is something we've been very vocal about over the course of the last few weeks, but just a quick reintroduction to our end of the year promotion. It's kind of funny saying that currently, but in most of the way through September, that's kind of where we're at here in 2020. We've been very active with our business recovery program. And so we're really proud to announce our fall business recovery program continued with a slight change based on what we've done earlier this year. Simply put, for every 4 new subscriptions our partners board onto Sound POS, your 5th subscription is free for 6 months from when that merchant and that 5th subscription is boarded. So that's a great give back, and simply that'll just keep revolving. For every 4, that 5th one is free all the way through the end of the year. So great way for us to be able to work with everybody that is still in the industry and pushing through for businesses that may need some flexibility. The beauty is, since we work with our partners in such a flexible way, it just gives everybody a lot more room to breathe, and really you guys can utilize that as partners however you like. So a couple things about the selling tools and for Sound POS. What we're going to cover in this webinar is really just first and foremost, know where your resources are. We want to always rely on your Sound POS representative and expert. They will be your first point of contact first and foremost for anything that you need. Myself, Tony and Doug and Walter, we're all experts on the product. And so frankly, if you have a rep currently, feel free to reach out for anything you happen to need. But also, if you are new to Sound POS, reach out to us after the webinar, and we'll be happy to dive into more details for you as well. But we're always a sounding board for anything that you happen to need. Sound Hub is a rather spectacular resource for our partners. It's your place for SOPs, support tickets, resources, a knowledge base center on the different products that we offer and the different verticals that we operate in for our technologies. And there's obviously a lot more there. Communication to our organization for ideas, suggestions, trouble tickets, you name it. And so that makes a really great one-stop shop for anything for support that our partners happen to need. So this, as far as a resource for just anybody up and running with us, this is great alongside several other utilities that we operate with That said, we'll cover marketing collateral that we provide and go through some of the training and support that we provide above and beyond SoundHub and the reseller tools that you'll be utilizing out in the field talking to merchants. We'll cover that as well as a brief little demonstration of just how easy Sound POS is to just give the 10,000 foot overview. Key selling points, what your merchants are typically asking for, how to provide those answers off the top of your head. And then of course, your go-to resource for anything, 24/7 Sound POS support desk. They're there for anything anybody needs. And we've just been ramping up everything that we can potentially offer for support, for help, for training. So this is what we've created as long as this product's been around. And frankly, there's obviously a lot more coming. So we'll always communicate that to our partners as we continue. Moving on. So for marketing collateral, what we do is we get very creative and we really listen to our partners. You'll probably hear me say that more than once throughout this informational webinar. We work with PDF materials and handouts that we can customize specifically for industry materials specific to verticals or designated merchant targets. As also, we really want to create utilities that can be used for a large enough audience that when we create something, it's not just for onesie twosies, but we really want to make sure we're capturing something really any of our partners can use, whether it can be white labeled or otherwise. We try to make this as simple and easy as possible for everybody to utilize. Now, we're also creating videos for training and for sales purposes. So on our website, you'll see a series of videos just from our webinars, some of our informal trainings and details on some of the new features or products that we released to market. So that's one place. We're starting to fulfill our YouTube channel as well as LinkedIn. So there's a variety of ways to just grab some of that information. And frankly, you'll hear the communication from us directly as we put something out there, such as our new video series that we're beginning to create for just information and training purposes, like our sales screen overview, and more to come for just the series as we begin to create utilities anybody can grab from resources like SoundHub, and then keep that training moving, keep that education fresh. So we never want something to become dull. We want to make sure everybody has access to that information nice and easily. Training and support, Partner Help Center, that's really your SoundHub resource, as well as a 24/7 support desk. You can view and create your support tickets there. I think we kind of mentioned that and acknowledged it. Your knowledge center, really, that's where you can just go into a product, start looking at the user manual guides, the presentations for how to create or resolve certain issues and get those things worked around. Also, we're putting out announcements and communications to our partners there. So again, that's a really great asset we want to focus on, because what that does is we want to give information to everybody at just a seamless capability. And that makes things very, very easy. The monthly webinars, such as this one, what we're doing is trying to make sure as we produce new products, new features, information that's going to be relevant to you and your merchants to win faster, to win better, that we want to make sure that we're providing that information to you. So these webinars are great. We're hitting the ground running with merchant training, sales trainings as well. So we're working diligently to ensure everybody has that in-depth knowledge at their fingertips. That includes monthly merchant webinars as well. While we haven't necessarily started to create those, we're getting feedback actively that that's probably going to be in the works here very quickly, above and beyond our video series or other things that we can produce. The rest of these, we're building new video tutorials, as we mentioned, for our sales screen overview. We just finished that this week. So under the circumstances, as far as how quickly these things exist and get produced, we work hard on them, and as soon as they're available, this is kind of the big release party for that memo specifically, that we wanted to make sure everybody has insight to some of those things that we're creating. Above and beyond that, what we'll do is also provide a deep dive training, and we record our sessions. So whether it's a demonstration to walk a merchant through the product, whether it's training on our PAX overview, the PAX store overview, or deployment and boarding of a merchant, we want your staff, your deployment teams, your technical teams to have those videos accessible. They're yours to keep, yours to use, however, whenever you like for a refresher. So you guys have information at your fingertips because you can go back and say, hey, how was this one particular feature discussed? And you have that information at your fingertips. So those kinds of solutions are really something we pride ourselves on because we want our partners to have as much information easily accessible as possible. So we're very diligent at creating these resources for everybody, just with our training and support agenda as well. Tools that we provide for our resellers, just alone trying to present to your merchant, depending upon how you are attacking the market, can be a little tricky. So frankly, we are open to providing merchant presentations, whether it's slide decks that will help provide you with quick overview information. We're happy to share those things and make sure that if it needs to be white label branded for your logo, whether it's just how to discuss Sound POS, it gives our partners much more insight. We're not going to hold those utilities close to the vest, because if it's going to help you succeed, really we want to create that information to cater it to the audience that you're presenting it to, and really create that proactive approach together. Beyond that, we're doing custom sales guides, as you see on the right-hand side of the screen here. This is pretty new, and what we're doing here is, putting our logos together, or we can customize this just to have one logo on there if it's your business as you need to. We'll put together your prices that you go to market with for these devices, or cash drawers and barcode scanners, the only peripherals really needed to complete the entire solution for any business. And from there, you can put your costs for the monthly SaaS solution there as well. And this can be a great sales resource for your staff, your sales experts, to have go-to information on features, device capabilities, and costs all at their fingertips. There's no searching and trying to get that information by different departments. We're happy to put this together for you. This is something rather new, but rather unique as well, to ensure you can go to market faster, get the information into the hands of the merchants to make that decision as quickly as needed. Selling is not a slow process all the time. A lot of times people just need the information quickly, so you really don't have other competitors come in. This gets that information to them as quickly as possible without much struggle. So we're trying to bridge those gaps actively, and it's been working pretty well so far. Above and beyond that, remote capabilities. This is a bit tricky because of the ecosystem we find ourselves in business today. The back office is a web portal. So any meetings such as Zoom, quick call out there, Teams, any other webinar, meeting sharing kind of ecosystems, go to meetings, you name it, you can share that screen. You can show somebody the back office, walk them through it. How would you like your reporting to look? How do you need to load your inventory? Those things are easily accessible for you guys to walk through. Again, we'll train anybody and everybody on your staff to understand these things well enough to be able to speak to them and to be knowledgeable on all those particular pieces as we go through this information. As we go through the resources that we provide you during our implementation process, I'm going to call out the PAX Air Viewer resource as well. This is a great utility that you can use to show a demo of the point of sale environment to your merchants. If you aren't there in person, obviously, because a lot of ISOs, a lot of resellers work with businesses all over the US. It's a lot easier to have a wider audience that way and gain more business. We want to provide you with those tools. AirViewer gives you the ability to support your merchants, as you can be given access to operate on the device, as well as just use your own device at your office to then show and click on the point of sale and guide somebody around to show them how easy it is. You'll see a little small little demo of that here as well in just a few moments. So these are just the resources we can help educate everybody on as well. I see a couple questions coming in, and what I'll do is answer those at the very end. We'll open this up for Q&A. I did forget to mention that. But one asking about the resources we just went through, example videos about what we're talking about. What we'll do is actually, if you go to LinkedIn, you'll see actually some of those videos on our Sound Payments page. very recently released and produced. The sales screen video was just released as of yesterday. So that one, we're actually just starting to get that word out on that, and that'll be more partner-based specifically. So again, it's a utility that you guys can learn from. And then of course, as needed, share to show somebody an example of how easy it is to maneuver across the point of sale system, as you'll see here as well. So a couple utilities there. Hopefully it answers that question. And we'll continue here, and then of course, open this up at the end. So keep them coming, obviously. And moving on to additional resources. There we are. I want to talk about some of the key selling points of Sound POS. Really, this is your merchant pitch. This is the napkin pitch all the way through, your Q&A and your discovery with merchants as to what it is they're looking for and answering those questions right away. Sound POS is an intuitive, easy to use, feature-rich point of sale system. That is it in a nutshell. Above and beyond that, merchants can track inventory and sales. They can accept all forms of payment, including EMV, swipe, contactless transactions right there on the screen. You can perform age verification by product or by the store, multiple ways to cover that capability and these different features across the entire point of sale system. With the devices, you can offer curbside checkout or even home delivery, as well as set up employees' privileges and even more. So really the list of just the capabilities at your fingertips that any merchant can utilize become quite vast. Now, above and beyond that, we allow for multiple tax sales for municipalities, for local, federal ranges of tax, multiple tax abilities that have to be applied to sales if needed. We don't limit it to just one or two. We also provide merchants with their customer data free of charge. There's no additional cost for anything like the customer data or loyalty or gift programs that are built local into the point of sale solution. We can also manage multiple location businesses, up to 5 to 10 locations, depending upon the vertical, very easily. And merchants have access to be able to control those different stores through the back office at their fingertips through any merchant portal and web browser that they can have access to. So this is essentially everything a small business needs to run efficiently and effectively, also at an affordable price. We'll dive into that a little bit more in just a minute as well. And what I'm going to do here is pivot to show the quick demonstration of the point of sale. So let me pull this up here in just a quick second. So I should be able to pivot here. Minor technical difficulties. Okay, my E500 is on my desk. So this is a unit, PAX device, our software loaded in. A simple demo is, again, whether you're doing a screen share or anything else, nice and simple. I'm gonna log right in. And if I'm presenting to a merchant, this is very easy. Here as an administrator, you have full access to the entire dashboard. To show off a couple of simple things, you can customize the way your employees see and operate the point of sale system, really down to an nth degree if needed. But above and beyond that, we've got everything from time card, as well as the ability to put your employee wages in. And here we can go to users where you can manage your employees directly. You can see who your employees are, as well as make any adjustments as needed. So if I go to Mr. Rory here, and congratulations, this new employee has now been promoted to cashier level 2. We'll save that right there. Simple, easy. And what is cashier level 2? Well, in my roles, you can see that I have accessibility as an administrator to everything. A cashier, under the very first day of operating and learning my store, may have very limited access, but then as they mature into my organization, they can gain more access. This can all be completely customized for any merchant as needed. So they can control how their employees operate. They have complete accessibility to their customers. So if we go to a customer profile here, you can see a multitude of details and information, identifying them by phone number, by email for receipts, making that very easy. You can obviously move through the account to take a look at what the loyalty points are for somebody and dictate as a business how you want those loyalty points redeemed through other utilities within the point of sale and back office. I can also see a history of their transactions. I can make notes of what some of their favorite transactions are. If I'm using some of the handheld devices, I can put their address in here as well, because as preferred customers, and if I'm doing those deliveries or verifying and validating information, I can do so right here very, very easily. We give this information, including the email addresses, to merchants. It's right there on their portal. So they have accessibility to communicate or do a mail merge or any other type of communication with their best customers right here from their fingertips in the back portal. They can gather that information very easily in accessibility, and it's very easily accessible. The inventory. Most folks would manage this, I expect, on the back office, but you need to make a change to something. You can do so right here on the back office. So you can go through all the different products. You can manage this in a multitude of ways, but to set somebody up and to have information and accessibility to something, I can go in here and begin looking at everything from the pictures, the pricing levels, what's my profitability on items. Do I need to make something EBT eligible or not, since you can utilize EBT on the point of sale system as a payment method? Do I need to create an age restriction on products or different categories as a whole? So you can customize the entire inventory very specifically as needed, and you can utilize this as an advantage to your merchants to gain insight to their products and track their sales very easily. Speaking of tracking sales, these are just a few reports that are easily accessible to the merchants to be able to pull this on the point of sale. And obviously these are available in the back office. Very simple to be able to pull a transaction report through any date range and be able to then put this into a very specific detailed report, or how do they want to view the reports. They can do this very, very specifically through all these different formats to ensure that they have the information they need to run their business at their fingertips. For the fun part, to get to the sales screen, very easy to maneuver. A lot of this can be adjusted, and again, as privileges go for the employees, this is a very simple solution. We want to make sure that if folks want to have easy push buttons to create sales, they can do so. We also give accessibility to folks that just use SKUs and want to utilize the barcode scanner. Maybe they don't need to have the menu, they just need to be able to make an adjustment right here for on-the-fly transaction changes or unique sales. They can just use a manual entry mode as well. Simple and effective information. You can search inventory, you can apply customers directly to sales very, very easily. So we can use information to see what's happening with our customers, verify we have the right customer, apply them to the sale. We can utilize cash discounting right here on the fly. You can turn these features on and off as needed. So again, customization for how merchants want to operate and run their stores for features like surcharge, if you want to use that with your merchants, or if they just want to use something like cash discounting to help with their customer base, they can do so. And then we can save this transaction, and frankly, we'll just clear the cart here. You can pull up held transactions for curbside, for delivery, for call-in orders, any other needs that you may need. Somebody can start a tab and we can pull up this information really easily, see exactly what's in the cart, apply this directly to the sale, and then as soon as needed, we're ready to take a look at all the information, confirm that this is what your merchant is looking to purchase. From here, we're gonna go to the pay button and finish the sale as easy as needed. We give everybody options to pay cash, credit, EBT if applied to specific sales, pay. I'm gonna use an NFC transaction. Hear everything beep. Now this is a known customer. and should pull up the receipt right there on the fly. And wants the signature. We're going to do an email receipt and done. Change 0. That's as difficult as a demonstration needs to be. And again, we want to give you the tools to answer the questions that your customers have. So I see more questions coming in here. Nope, I think that was it so far. And I think we've got somebody with a raised hand, so we'll dive into that at the very end as well. And from here, we're going to go right back to the presentation. And so again, if we have questions on the environment or anything else, we can answer those here momentarily. And bam. So what's the value proposition for merchants? As easy as the first line that we discussed before, this is a simple, easy to use point of sale. We're a cloud-based, feature-rich, simple point of sale solution that's easy to install, easy to set up, and easy to use. Your business can operate more efficiently by managing inventory, pricing, payroll, sales, and consumer shopping trends from your PC, your tablet, your mobile device, anything that can connect to the internet via our cloud portal. Installation, setup, maintenance, it's simple. We're here to help train you and your staff to be able to train and interact with your merchants as much or as little as you need to. That flexibility is something we really pride ourselves on. Now, if you're looking for a great place to start, here's just some of the industries that we work in that we've seen a ton of success already. These industries are flexible. I mean, the solution can be applied to pretty much any vertical that's in the retail environment, quick service, from food trucks, boutiques, gift shops, concession stands. And frankly, this is just a place to start. We're finding our system is flexible enough to fit in a lot of additional industries we haven't even really identified yet. So as those come up, as there's more questions for where this fits and fits well, frankly, again, go and lean on the Sound POS rep. That's what we're here for, is to answer those questions. So this is just the place to start. Now, one thing for our partners we want to discuss as usual is our cost. Our buy rate that we charge our partners, so you can charge your customers something above and beyond that initial buy rate cost. We only charge $19.95 per month per device for the software. Most folks we find are buying the equipment through their own distributors, so that makes things typically very simple and easy. Now, if you take on the level 1 support, we'll train you and your staff to have that level 1 certification. We charge you less, $14.95, because we're only handling your escalated level 2 support questions. So from here, this is really where we thrive as a cost-effective solution that you can lean on, that gives you accessibility to work with any merchant on pretty much any vertical you can think of within the retail and quick serve environment realm. And we're adding more and more features day in and day out, really. So what we'll do is open this up for some questions in case anybody has any questions right off the bat. Let's take a look here. I don't think. See if I can find a way to unmute this. I don't know that anybody is muted really, so hang on a second. But are there any questions? What we'll do is we'll open it up and we'll see if we can, well, raise your hand, and what we'll do is allow somebody to talk. I think, Lily, you've got a question. Could you show us an example of what the cash discount receipt looks like? Great question. Let me see if I can go to my email. Let me see if I can pull up a receipt. Receipts can be customized, which is quite nice. And let's see if I can find one of these right here at my fingertips. There we go. Here's one. And one from Bernie explaining the subscription scenario again. Yes, I can do so here. All right, so I think this is one good example. Let me pull this up as well. Okay. So go to the meeting and let's go with a new share, and I will share a copy of this receipt. Okay, so here's a receipt for a transaction that I ran, which you can see is the cash discount. So you can apply pictures for logos of the store, information, thank you for shopping at Bad Wolf. So another great feature you can reply to customers on. Cash discount, you can see here that each item shows you the cash discount applied for the sale, line by line. And this is a quick serve environment, so you can see all the different items that were added on for this particular order. Total without cash, cash discount, total. So we break things out very well to be able to identify each and all of those particular features as we go. Hopefully this helps provide a good example. Our subscription scenario for Bernie, we are a SaaS-based solution. So what we do is, say you've got two merchants that are using, one device each, and you're on with our level 1 support, which most folks start off with. That will end up being $19.95 per month per device. So essentially per month, we bill our resellers, so you can turn and bill your merchants specifically in case you'd like to change the value or the price yourself. So you can do so very, very easily. And we bill you that near $40 per month for those two merchants, and then you'd be charging your client specifically. So if you want to place a different value on a package or any other additional value adds that you provide your merchants, you can bundle this cost into those line items and just have one price applied. But we bill our partners, and then you can charge any price that you like. Any additional questions so far? Lily had a hand raised. I'm not sure if that was accidental. Anybody else that has questions, you can raise a hand and we can try and get the audio to work. Otherwise, I can answer these questions as they come in as well. The chat's been working pretty well. And we also invite you guys to reach out to us directly if you are a current partner. Again, we are providing robust trainings for sales, for understanding the solution, the intricacies of it, because there's a lot of capabilities. We're also training deployment and technical teams through the PAC store, as well as our back office, so you can create those customized experiences for your merchants. That way, this fits their business needs. We've got Greg.
Yeah,
Greg, you're live.
Hey, thank you. I was just curious, does the POS system work with any type of cell phones? Like, does it, can you download it on the cell phone and do anything with cell phones?
Great question. We don't have any apps on a cell phone. Right now, the devices that we are certified on, I'll actually back up one quick screen, are these 5 devices through PAX. So the E500 is a desktop countertop unit. The E600 is kind of a hybrid. It can be both mobile as well as desktop. It still connects to a barcode scanner and a cash drawer. The E700, different profile, much shorter profile, a bit more iPad-like countertop unit. The E800, which is a little bit more professional and taller of a countertop unit. And then the A920 is completely handheld. So this would not connect to a cash drawer, but actually would be its own barcode scanner. All these devices have cameras which can be utilized to scan barcodes. Specifically, the A920 could utilize that as well if you're not just using the menu to punch in the order directly into the cart. So that's a great one to have there. This is essentially the mobile unit, the A920, but they all run on these PAX devices, which you would then typically just purchase from your distributors. Does that help answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Any additional questions so far? I'll take them on the text line. If not, the raise hand seems to be working pretty well at this time as well. Perfect. Well, I appreciate everybody's time. We will send this presentation out so folks can get a great idea of what we do. And this will be posted on our social media platforms and our website. So feel free to share this if you'd like to understand and get a quick idea of some of the key points in selling Sound POS. And again, we're happy to train anybody's sales force and team into really diving into those needs your customers have, whether it's one-off or whether you're really aggressively attacking a vertical. This just gives us an opportunity to really dive in and cater the experience to you and how your customers are receiving the product. So feel free to reach out at any time to myself and my team. I appreciate everybody's time and have a spectacular day.